Another baby, she said, as though they were in the wrong. No, Ian said firmly. We can't. Suit yourself, she said, clearly offended. Leaving the cot, she headed out of the room and towards the main door, a bunch of keys jangling at her hip. They followed. Lots of other parents come here and take our babies, she snapped. But not us, Ian said, annoyed. They waited while she unlocked the door. Ian hung back as Elaine stepped outside. Where's the doctor we've been dealing with? He asked. He was supposed to meet us here. The careworker shrugged, either not understanding or refusing to answer. Dr. Ciobanu, Ian tried again. We spoke to him on the phone. Is he here? She shook her head. You go now. I'm busy. You tell him we came, he said, but she pushed at his arm, signalling for him to leave. Ian and Elaine stepped outside, and the large metal door clanged shut behind them. A lone child screamed from inside. Elaine burst into tears and Ian put his arm around her. I don't believe it, she sobbed. All this time, working towards the adoption, and that heartless woman tells us our baby is dead. Although they'd never met little Lana, they'd felt a bond with her ever since they'd first received her details and photograph and considered her their daughter. This was supposed to have been the final stage in the adoption process that had begun nearly 2 years before, and it included a detailed social worker's report, references, medicals, and endless form-filling and expectation. Today, they should have met Lana for the first time, given the doctor their paperwork, and signed the forms for court. And while they waited for the court hearing, they would have visited Lana each day, loving her more and more. But that had all come to an abrupt and distressing end. Their baby had died. Ian gently guided his wife to the taxi they had waiting. No baby? The taxi driver asked, seeing their faces as they got into the back. No, the baby died, Ian replied, his voice shaking with emotion. Oh, dear. It happens in this country, the driver said matter-of-factly. Many babies die here. Ian nodded as Elaine wiped her eyes. They knew about the high infant mortality rate and the shocking conditions in some of the state-run orphanages that had contributed to their decision to adopt from this country. The driver glanced at them in the rearview mirror, started the car and pulled away. I find you a healthy baby, he said. My cousin knows a lady who finds couples' babies. You no worry. She find one for you and she very cheap. That's kind of you, but no thank you, Ian said politely. They'd been warned about these types of arrangements by other couples who had adopted from this country. There were many parents on the internet who were happy to share their experiences of international adoption to help others. While not always illegal, these private adoptions were fraught with problems, and money was demanded at each stage of the process. Yet ironically, they'd followed the correct procedure, and look where it had got them. You think about it, the driver said. I give you my telephone number when we stop. Okay, Ian said, without the strength to protest. The air conditioning in the reception of their 3-star hotel was a welcome relief after the heat outside. Ian and Elaine, desperate to be alone, caught the lift straight up to their room on the 3rd floor. The maid had been in and everything was clean and tidy, and the bed made. It was such a stark contrast to the poverty outside that Elaine felt a familiar stab of guilt. I don't think we're meant to have children, she said, utterly defeated and sitting on the bed. Ian sighed and poured himself a glass of water from the flask that was refreshed daily. Oh, I don't know, he said, as dejected as his wife. I expected to face some hurdles. Most of those we've been talking to who adopted from here did, but I never imagined this. To arrive and be told our child is dead, and then to be shown other children, is heartless beyond belief.